Meeting of the Board of Public Works and Safety, roll call. Here?
Here.
Are there any conflict of interest statements?
No.
Approval of the minutes of the meeting of October 29th. Anybody have a chance to review those?
No.
So-
Motion for action?
Motion and a second. Questions or comments? Hearing none. Those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Those against, motion passes. Item A under correspondence, bid opening, demolition of 4608 Cameron, 4639 Hickory, and 5639 Soul. We have two bids. The first bid is from Acton Contracting LLC, 1102 East Columbus Drive, East Chicago, Indiana. Okay, now, they're saying that 4608 Cameron and 4938 Hickory have already been bid and awarded? Is that true?
I do believe 4608 Cameron has been awarded, and I think it's the wrong address of 4639.
The only one that they bid was 5639 Soul, but they did make the comment that the other ones were already.
Okay, we're just bidding Salt Street, so that's...
Okay, they have their non-inclusion affidavit and their Form 96, and their bid for 5639 Soul is $9,825. Next bid is from JM Industrial Services Incorporated, 201 Marble Street, Hammond, Indiana. They have their Form 96, and they have their non-inclusion affidavit signed, and their bid for 5639 Soul is $9,850. How close are those?
$25.
Holy cow. Okay, do I have a motion to refer these to the building department for tabulation and recommendation?
So moved.
Second.
Any questions or comments? Hearing none, those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Those against, motion passes. Item B, agreement with First Group Engineering for engineering services in the 4th District Road Reconstruction Project, Van Buren from 174th to 175th. The contract is in the amount for design of $51,000. Do you have a motion approving the contract?
So moved.
Second.
Motion and a second. Questions or comments? Hearing none. Those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Motion passes. Item C, agreement with First Group Engineering for engineering services in the 4th District Street Lighting Project, 1500, 1600 block of 180th Place, 200 block of 169th, Van Buren Avenue from 169th to 173rd, and Oakdale from 171st to I-80-94. And this contract is design, and the amount is $84,680. Do I have a motion approving the contract?
So moved.
Second.
Motion and a second. Questions or comments? Hearing none. Those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Those against, motion passes. Item D, agreement with United Consulting for engineering services for Delmar Lighting Project, River Drive to 177, Belmont Avenue Lighting Project, River Drive to 177, Beach Avenue Lighting Project, 176 to 174th, and Lindbergh Lighting from 173rd to 169th. I'll start writing these on the front so I don't have to look for them. The contract is $74,000 for the design work. Do I have a motion approving the contract with United?
So moved.
Second.
Questions or comments? Hearing none, those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Motion passes. Item E is a bid recommendation from Nice Engineering for the Walter Avenue Reconstruction Project, Carroll to Thornton. The engineer's estimate for the project was $693,000. The low bidder was Walsh and Kelly in the amount of $553,665.99. So the recommendation is to make the award to Walsh and Kelly. Do I have a motion approving that?
So moved.
Motion and a second. Questions or comments? Hearing none, those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Those against, motion passes. Item F is agreement with Nice Engineering for construction observation of Walter from Carroll to Thornton. And the construction observation dollar amount is $59,580. Do I have a motion approving the supervision contract?
Motion to approve.
Second.
Motion and a second. Questions or comments? Hearing none, those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Those against, motion passes. Item G, bid recommendation from SEH of Indiana for the Orchard Drive reconstruction project. The recommendation of SEH is to award to the low bidder, Rex Construction, in the amount of $695,666.55. Do I have a motion approving that bid award?
So moved.
Second.
Motion and a second. Questions or comments? Hearing none, those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Motion passes. Item H, correspondent received from Buyer Engineering requesting permission to place fiber optic in the city starting on May 23rd. This is going to run through the Chicago Avenue corridor. Have we provided a copy of this to Eric so that he could review and?
Yes, that's been taken care of. They have been in contact with one another. All they're
Okay.
doing is put in a new line in an existing
Yeah.
conduit.
Okay, so there's no new,
No new construction, and it should take approximately 4 or 5 hours to get the entire line.
okay. Do we have a motion approving the work within our right-of-way?
So moved.
Second.
Motion and second. Questions or comments? Hearing none, those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Those against, motion passes. Item I, correspondence received from AT&T requesting permission to perform work at 2421 173rd Street and 4521 Holman Avenue. These are both directional bores within our right-of-way. Do we have a motion approving that work?
So moved.
Second.
Motion and a second. Questions or comments? Hearing none, those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Motion passes. Item J, correspondence received from Area Plumbing and Sewer requesting permission to street cut in front of 4721 Cedar on May 13th for sinkhole repair.
This is a lateral line, sewer department is requesting to be repaired. They came a little early, but we didn't have permission to effectuate.
Do I have a motion? They're going to take care of all traffic control and everything, right?
Correct.
Looks like it. Do I have a motion approving the digging request?
Motion to approve.
Second.
Motion and second. Questions or comments? Hearing none. Those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Those against, motion passes. Correspondence received from Construction CAD Solutions Incorporated requesting permission to install fiber optic cable underground and right of entry for aerial installation of fiber optic cable on NIPSCO poles. This is part of the Wide Open West upgrade throughout the city, and I've reviewed it, and I'm sure engineering has too. I'd like someone to make a motion approving that request.
Motion to approve.
Second.
Motion and a second. Questions or comments? Hearing none. Those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Motion passes. Next is a license agreement with Dual Village that was held up from a previous meeting. This is for environmental cleanup work at 837 Hoffman Street for environmental testing. There's actually two separate documents here. The first one, we didn't have a copy of the cover letter. The cover letter talks about how they're going to protect the children going to the school that's next door. And now that that's been reviewed, I need someone to make a motion that we approve this, subject to them having a coordination meeting prior to starting work with engineering and environmental management. Who wants to make such a motion?
Motion to approve, subject to the coordination meeting.
Right.
Second.
Motion and a second. Questions or comments? Hearing none. Those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Motion passes. Item M is in the same area, the same company's requesting it, but this is for additional underground assessment work in the alley. And I drove past there today, and the only concern that I have is some people have access to their property to concrete pad or like a garage. And I think we can approve this subject to them maintaining access during the work. Do I have a motion to that effect?
Motion to approve, subject to them maintaining access during the project.
Second.
A motion and a second. Questions or comments? Hearing none. Those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Those against, motion passes. Item N is a disposal authorization for numerous vehicles by the Hammond Police Department. Do I have a motion approving the disposal authorization?
So moved.
Second.
Motion and a second. Questions or comments? Hearing none. Those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Those against, motion passes. Item O, correspondence received from Gary Gleason, Public Works, requesting approval of the purchase of a John Deere Gator and a John Deere Z-Track from Castangia or Castaniga. Yeah, these items are under the formal bid amount, and Gary said that you knew about it, Heather?
I do.
You got the money, so do we have a motion approving the purchase?
So moved.
Second.
Motion and a second. Questions or comments? Hearing none. Those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Okay, item P. Notice of violation hearing on property located at 1411 150th Street.
Morning, I'm sure you remember we were about there a couple weeks ago about this, and we requested that Jimmy show up. Good.
And his attorney's here today?
Yes.
This is pretty Marco Molina, he's got something that he wants to show.
Yeah, if I may, initially, he was concerned about some of the requirements, but he's met with the contractor, he's actually signed a contract. Work's supposed to begin June 1st. For the contract, he's going to bring it up to code. He bought the house from someone else just recently, was not aware that it was, he thought it was always a duplex, it wasn't apparently. So, they've already pulled some permits in that. Sure, absolutely.
See, contract, making sure we prepare serving this from a, well, last year's from a, back to a monument. Considering that this action already went forward, I think it makes the work decision easier for the firm to move that second one. So we have, as a matter of record, so in the future, it's not get back, come back into the second one.
Is this contractor licensed in the city?
Have we entered into a rehabilitation agreement?
It's not a demo list, this is a
Okay,
removal.
just a removal of it.
Okay. So,
They are agreeing to convert everything back to a single family home. Yes.
I think we can get the board to affirm that it is a legal second unit. We can show you pictures of what the situations are. It's pretty typical as a attic apartment. Just as a matter of record, so if it goes in the future to, he sells it, someone else gets it, and let's turn it back into, we'll have a matter of record.
That's your copy.
Rich, do you want to see? Richard? It's a pretty typical situation, and I appreciate cooperation from Mr. Guzman. sees that at some point it was, they think they can do it again. And it's no punishment to Mr. Guzman, other than it is vacant, right? The second unit is vacant?
Yeah. I definitely go for the people, I think they have to hold because they have 34 weeks.
Right, that's why they're gonna start to work on the 1st of June, because the people on the bottom are going to move out, so.
So once they're gone, they'll be living in the building.
Right, while they're doing the
While they're doing work.
converting it back.
So you want us to affirm the notice of violation, and then they're gonna make the changes?
That's correct. There's findings in order attached to that.
Do I have such a motion?
Second.
Motion and a second. Questions or comments? Hearing none. Those in favor say aye. Motion passes.
Appreciate it, thank you.
Okay, thank you. Item Q, a motion to vacate order of demolition on emergency motion to stay order for demolition of property located at 6817 Bering Avenue, submitted by attorney Jennifer L. Fisher.
Here.
And you are,
I'm attorney Jennifer Fisher.
okay.
The property at issue in this case is 6817 Bering Road, currently owned by Peggy Wright. My client, HSBC Bank USA, is a mortgage lien holder, which has a security interest in the property. They've been in the process of attempting to obtain title to the property. They commenced a mortgage foreclosure action against Peggy Wright in April of 2014 and have been providing lawn services, winterization, and snow removal at the property since March of 2015. On October 21st, 2015, they secured a judgment against Peggy Wright for $185,712. However, the sheriff's sale has not yet occurred in order for my client to take title of the property. In the interim, in May of 2015, the board affirmed an order to demolish because the premises is not maintained and in honestly pretty deplorable condition. My client would like to at least stay the order to demolish the property because they're interested in restoring the property. They have a approved preservation plan, estimated to take 30 to 60 days to complete, but essentially they would be cleaning and restoring the property and making a substantial investment into the property. I understand that the utilities have been cut at the source since speaking with Attorney Cantor regarding this, which is going to have to be an additional cost and consideration to get those restored. My client is presently in the process of contacting the utility companies and affirming that there's, not outstanding debts and obligations associated with the property, to see what those are, if they need to be paid, and what the cost associated with reconnection of the utilities is. So essentially, I think the best plan here and what I'm seeking is a 2-week stay of the order of demolition to allow my client to determine what we can do with the utilities. And so long as it's economically feasible and possible to have that restored, then I would like to come back and see if we can move to vacate the demolition order.
Property's beyond that. It's already under contract for demolition, and I think all the utilities have been cut off, correct?
That is correct.
There's also an issue that's related to, 2 years, second floor is an apartment, that we go, we have been able to make issues and specify because of the only cat species. But every indication is that's a legal second unit. So I don't know if whoever's going to be buying this and renovating and doing whatever they're going to be doing, you're not going to get the electric hooked up to both meters because it's a legal second unit. Electrical, I think, prefer that to just go home. I don't know if they realize that this is all going to take place. I think they're trying to get investment property at the units of price of market.
Are you sure, did you go past it this morning?
No, we did.
It's still there.
Just for the record, this attorney is very new to this case. She was not part of this case when it started over a year ago. This property is actually ordered demolished a year ago, April. It's already been bid, it's already been awarded. NIPSCO, I requested them to cut the power March 16th. They finally cut it at the end of April. It's been like with them. So the permits have been issued, the contractor is ready to start. They've done the 10 days, they've done the environmental. The only reason it's not down right now is I received a motion on Tuesday afternoon, and as a courtesy, we said, stop, everybody just, freeze tag. Everybody, red light, green light, nobody moved until after Thursday's hearing. But the contractor was ready to, actually would have been down by
Yeah,
this.
that's the reason I asked that
Yeah.
question.
It would've been
It's
done.
still up, because I thought it was supposed to be demolished by.
But because I received the motion Tuesday afternoon and today's Thursday morning, I figured, within 13 months, what's 2 days? The problem is we're still in the realm of they don't have the deed from the sheriff's sale. They're not sure about these additional expenses, because once the power is cut and the water's cut, it's not just plugging it back in again. They're gonna have to dig up the whole yard, and put the water line back in. I mean, it's a major, plus all the electrical is now gonna have to be brought up to the new code, because it is now a new installation. So I don't believe it's as simple as the lender believes, and I think all that's happening is we're just gonna delay the inevitable 2 weeks, and I think at this point it's just too late. Had the lender come to us anytime up to the beginning of April when the power wasn't cut, we probably could have done something. But, they just waited and waited and waited. It's a problem you deal with banks, nobody can ever give you a quick answer. Nobody can ever usually give you an answer. So I would just say at this point in time, nothing against his attorney, she's been wonderful, professional, competent, but it's too late, it's just too late.
So that's where it leaves us. I mean, either it's too late, and if that's the position, that's fine. If we can wait the 2 weeks, I can assess the costs associated with what we need to do with the utilities.
Well,
You know,
you can get an estimated cost of it, but we haven't been able to determine what else is needed to be done. And quite honestly, I don't want to send an inspector into a cat built house, 2-unit, to go through all this, so.
Yeah, I mean, there's the formal rehab process involves a full inspection and a written rehabilitation agreement, which is what I explained to the property preservation manager on April the 8th. That if she was interested in doing this, she needed to actually really get going on it, because if she didn't get the inspection done before the power was cut, it was going to be a lot more difficult to assess what had to be done.
I don't believe Mr. Cook would be interested in doing all inspection of the property as well.
And once you cut the water, if it's an old lead service, and you can't reconnect that, you need to put an entirely new service
Got the
in.
line over. That's what, I think the hidden costs, or the unknowns that you're not aware of, that goes in this process.
I've seen pictures of the building, the building's in pretty sad shape inside, but it's,
It's tough. Tough to get those pictures.
I don't know, there was plenty of time for your client to do something on it. And she waited up until beyond the last minute.
last week.
That's what I said. She is not involved.
I think this case is being handled by Bleecker and Brody Associates, who predominantly do foreclosure litigation. They're an Indianapolis firm, and there was some delay as to everything they were doing because Peggy Wright has been trying to keep the property.
We had a similar situation in 1413 Vines with all the dogs and, and all the mortgages and everything else that went through. House seemed to be in fair condition. Ultimately, what we had to verify, because this action, again, the fault of hers, leads to an election call, or delaying the inevitable. And I prefer not to do that. Work we have going on, this is the contract we're going to drop off.
So what does the board need to do, Chris?
It's up to you. Like I said, the contractor was ready, it would have been down by now because he already put the permits and there's the 10-day environmental orders that has to go out. That's already been accomplished. We just stated because the motion was filed and I wanted to give the courtesy of the hearing. The board can just decide not to stay demolition and the contractor can fly ahead down my own way.
We're too far down on this property already, so I will make a motion to deny the request to vacate or stay.
We have a motion and a second. Any questions or comments? Those in favor say aye. Those against, motion passes.
Thank you.
Thank you. Item R, rental registration hearing on a property located at 829 Morris Street. Carla Stanley?
Yes. How you doing this morning?
You're not Carla.
No, I'm not.
What's your name?
My name is, my name is Barry Calvin.
Okay.
And I have a letter here representing Carla Stanley's situation, and I'd like to present that. Where?
California,
Right.
Okay, and are you a property manager or?
No, I'm just a friend. And I want to present that situation. And she would like to be able to explain why she wasn't able to obtain a rental tag in the time that was due and see if the fee can be waived and she'd be allowed to require a new rental tag if possible.
Okay, now, Mr. Stanley, are you the tenant?
No, I'm just a friend and I have the letter here.
Oh, okay, so the water is in your name, the water's in your name?
It's in Russell's name.
Oh, oh, I'm sorry.
They're in California. They had a prospective buyer who didn't pan out.
Is this single family?
I'm not sure at all. I'm, like I said, I'm just representing and presenting the letter. They were in Mississippi, and they had a prospective buyer, which didn't come through, and then they had to move back to California, and they had some medical issues, and I'd just like to present the letter stating the situation.
Okay, do you want to read it to the board? Do you want me to read it to the
Yes,
board?
please.
Dear sirs, during a tumultuous period of my life, I regretfully and unintentionally missed the filing deadline to pay the fee for my renter's tag. I moved to Mississippi.
Yes.
New job, hospitalized. What was that? Medical records. Somebody wanted to buy it and then they like that.
Right.
All right. And so that's the information. The owner does not live in Mississippi, although we do have a California address. The water is now going to Granada, Mississippi.
Yeah, but then now that job, now they're back in California.
All right. Mr. President, they registered for 12, 13, and 14. They did not register for 15 and 16.
Was it rented out during those years?
Correct.
It was in 15 and 16 occupied?
Correct.
Excuse me, sir, is there two houses on this lot?
I'm not sure, I've never seen this property yet, but, just, you know.
Yes, but I think you do a little bit more research. I believe there's actually two houses on this lot.
Are they both?
The yellow one, you might see.
Yeah, I haven't seen the property at all.
All right, well, we need, this gentleman to come back next week, or we just send her status and anything else to the letter?
See, I'm from Michigan City, Indiana, so I drove up to present this letter and state the situation.
And you still made it, people come from all over hand.
Motion to set for status.
Sure,
for the dates.
the letters, please.
Second.
We have a motion to set for status in 7 days and a second. Any questions or comments?
Okay,
Hearing none, those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Those against, motion passes.
thank you so much, have a good day.
Thank you.
Item S, rental registration hearing on property located at 6606 Harrison. Melissa Reed.
Mr. President, what I have, it was registered in 2009, 2010, and has not been registered for 16. This is a 2-unit,
Yes.
and it's never, so it's not been registered for since 2010?
No, registered for the whole.
Yeah, nothing since then?
No.
So
She
11,
owns it.
so 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 5 years. Okay. It is a 2-unit. All right, and are you Ms. Reed? Yes. Okay, how long have you been registered for property?
I'm from Chicago, so I bought the building, this is no excuse, I mean, Mr. Rose, not excuse. They mentioned passing very last minute that I had to do this permit. It truly went 1 year and out the other. No one ever came by and said anything to me until a couple years later that I was required for a permit. That's the first time I heard of it again. So at that point, when I came down here and asked about it, I was told that I could, I had to get a waiver. I was like, well, I'm not trying to waiver the fine. I'm like, I truly just didn't realize there really was such a thing. I never heard of such a thing. You have to register to rent out your unit. And so when I came down, they told me that I would either have to do a waiver or just register to pay. So when I came back to register, I said, okay, well, I'll just wait and register. It was put to me as an either-or thing. So when I came back to register and the woman realized I hadn't registered since buying the building, that's when I got the notice to come to court.
All right, Mr. President, so what we're talking about is 2011, 12, 13, 14, 15, and 16. Oh, you did pick up 16?
Yes.
Okay, so it's not registered. And there are 2 units in each property.
I live in one.
Oh, you do?
Yes.
Well, who lives in property?
Somebody else asked me that. I've never lived in Crown Point.
You don't live at 118 North Main Street, Concord?
No. Go to the registry, everything about the building.
Now, Mr. President, her license does indicate this address and it's from 2012, so we're just talking one unit associated. The building department is recommending that we impose one late fee and waive the 5 others.
I'm going to make a motion to approve that request. That would be the one unit needs to be registered for the years of 11, 12, 13, and 14 at a combined rate of $325. We're going to waive all but one late fee. There'll be a late fee amount of $500.
So $850, okay?
Yes.
A motion and a second. Any questions or comments? Hearing none, those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Those against, motion passes. Okay, thank you.
Yeah, or you can have mail.
Yeah, but tell me, sit this down.
Okay, we'll move down to item T, rental registration hearing on property located at 6368 Maryland. Karen, I can't tell the last name. What is that? Miller?
All right, so, after, talking to the owner, we actually got down to what the nitty-gritty was and why, so many addresses, with Chicago addresses. She lived at the house, at this Maryland house at one point. Her then boyfriend lived at 7111 State Line. They got married, they kept both. While he was doing renovations at State Line, they lived in Chicago, never rented either one out. And that actually shows with the zero water usage, during those years. So they were just going back and forth with the houses, so,
It's registered and that's it now.
it's registered, they did register for this year because they are gonna be moving on State Line now. And that's where all the, I guess, the bills will be on. So, I guess my, asking to dismiss this, and, they registered for this year. And,
Did they fill out an affidavit though for those years that it was vacant?
no, they did not.
Okay, then they'll need to do that, they'll need to fill out the affidavit from their record. Both of them, since they were living in Chicago while they had 2 houses in Indiana.
Do I have a motion to dismiss?
So moved.
Motion and a second. Questions or comments? Hearing none, those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Those against, motion passes. Item U, rental registration hearing on property located at 6946 and 7449 Alabama. Richard Francis. Richard Francis here, or someone representing him?
Apparently he did register, it didn't make the computer, but he is registered, so we can just dismiss this appeal.
For both properties?
Just for the one.
Which one?
Which one? Oh, for, 6946 Alabama.
So are we still considering the sub 449?
Still need to go forward on 7449 Alabama. He did not register for 14 and 15 for 7449 Alabama, and since he's not here, I would just say that appeal is denied.
For what years, I'm sorry?
14 and 15.
Motion to dismiss the 6946 Alabama Avenue. You want to do these separately?
Do I have a second?
Second.
Questions or comments? Hearing none, those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Those against, motion passes. Now the other property?
Motion to deny the request and assess a late fee for the years of 2014 and 15 in the amount of $1,000 and have the property registered for 2014 in the amount of $85.
Now that's 7449, right?
The 7449 Alabama.
Second.
A motion and a second. Questions or comments? Hearing none. Those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Motion passes. Thank you. Next, we move down to correspondence requesting rental registrations. And there looks like there's a bunch of them. When do you want to schedule these? June 23rd? We have a motion setting June 23rd to hear numerous rental registration requests.
So moved.
Second.
Motion and a second. Questions or comments? Hearing none. Those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Motion passes. Item W, agreements to rehabilitate 4246 Wabash, First Amendment, and 4248 Wabash, First Amendment.
Mr. President, these were somehow supposed to be on the agenda for April the 21st, but for some reason it did not occur, and so I would just ask you to please approve them.
Do we have a motion to approve?
So moved.
Second.
Motion and a second. Questions or comments? Hearing none. Those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Those against? Motion passes. Next, we have item X, specific finding of facts and a decision regarding property located at 4822 Pine and 4724 Pine.
Mr. President, that's just a rental appeal. We made an agreement with the building department, and I would just ask you to approve it.
Motion to approve.
Second.
Motion and a second. Questions or comments? Hearing none. Those in favor say aye. Item Y, order to rescind orders to demolish property at 1557 River Drive, garage only, and 7340 New Hampshire.
Mr. President, the garage was demolished by the owner, and a new garage is being constructed there, so we no longer need a demolition order. And on the other property, the 7340 New Hampshire, they've completely remodeled it. It looks fantastic. I've seen pictures of it, so there's no need to enforce our demolition order. And so in both cases, I would like the board to rescind it, so I can record it on the property and give them clean title.
Do I have such motion to rescind?
So moved.
Motion and a second. Questions or comments? Hearing none. Those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Those against? Motion passes. Item Z, request to reduce bond amount on property located at 840 Eaton Street.
Mr. President, this is a property, we entered a rehab agreement. As part of our normal rehab agreement, there is a condition of a $10,000 bond. The owner of the property who wants to begin rehabilitation, he cannot get a bond, and so he wants to just give the city cashier's check or certified check for the money. However, if he gives us a check for $10,000, he won't have money to make the repairs. So he was wondering if the board would consider reducing that amount, maybe something like $5,000, which he proposed to cashier's check or certified check. Is that correct, sir?
Yes.
Okay, go ahead. I'm
Yes.
just trying to speak.
Because I have so many issues to get the performance bond, so, and I have all the contractors lined out and everything, so it's the only thing they hold me up. If you can do the favor to me. And I get the check.
You started on the work? Is the,
You can't pull permits until he posts the bond.
Yeah.
oh,
So it's kind of catch
That's right.
22.
Chris, is this the one that we discussed previously?
Yes. Yeah, where he wanted to give us cash, and I said, no, we don't take cash. It looks bad. And it's a safety issue.
Okay. I'm gonna make a motion to approve the request to reduce the bond amount to $5,000.
Thank you so much.
Thank
we
you.
have a motion. Do I have a second?
Second.
Any questions or comments? Hearing none. Those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Motion passes. Item AA, correspondence received from Lake County Solid Waste Management District regarding the modification of the Environmental Education Center. I spoke with them. They are going to create some office space upstairs. There are windows up there, and I think it was used at one time as an office and storage space. So I don't have a problem with them doing it. They're going to pay for everything, and they're looking at starting it as soon as they get approval. And they will be getting building permits, correct?
Well, gosh, I hope so. I don't know. They didn't really mention it.
I know, it's not mentioned in the letter, but they are asking for the okay. So we probably need a motion approving it subject to getting appropriate building permits.
And inspections.
Yes.
However, what does he pay for that utility? So are we gonna be paying on the additional portion as well?
I don't know, that's not clear. But it shouldn't be much if it's just office space, because they're already heating it, utilizing it, so you're talking probably
Adding
lights.
on, or is it just included?
It's existing space,
Okay.
yeah.
Okay.
It's just gonna convert it from something that's not being used right now to something that's being used.
Okay, motion Motion to approve.
Second.
Motion and a second. Questions or comments? Hearing none. Those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Motion passes. Item BB, correspondence received from Hammond Park and Recreation requesting approval of the route for the 2016 Festival of the Lakes 5K Run. It looks like it's mostly on bike trails or on local residential streets, which is similar to what they did last year.
Water gardens, right?
Yeah. Do I have a motion approving the route?
So moved.
Second.
Motion and a second. Questions or comments? Hearing none. Those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Those against, motion passes. Item CC, correspondence received from HC3 Board of Directors requesting permission to hold a sidewalk sale, festival, parade, beer garden, food sales at the Live in the Ville Fest, June 11th, June 18th, and June 25th, with street closures, speed reduction, placement of signs, police present, and temporary stop signs. I think, what street are they closing?
Kennedy Avenue?
Yeah.
I don't think
Kennedy,
they're,
right?
I don't think they're closing Kennedy, but, right?
All we did, we closed it temporary just for the parade only.
Okay.
Lighted motors on the parade.
Yeah, they're saying that they want to close Kennedy on June 4th. That's the only day that they want to close it, because that's when they have the parade, right?
I believe so, yeah.
Okay. But this is similar to what they did last year. Do we have a motion approving their request?
So moved.
Second.
Motion and a second. Questions or comments? Hearing none. Those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Those against, motion passes. Item DD, correspondence received from St. Demetrius Greek Orthodox Church requesting permission to close Ben Levin Drive and Meadow Lane Friday, June 10th to Monday, June 13th, barricades and snow fence for their annual church festival. Do I have a motion approving those closures?
So moved.
Second.
Motion and second. Questions or comments? Hearing none. Those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Those against, motion passes. Item EE, correspondence received from Northgate Church requesting the alley behind and adjacent to the church at 2820 165th Street be closed from 6 to 9:30 p.m. on June 3rd, June 10th, June 17th, and June 21st for their Junerosity event. It doesn't, it's just this little chunk of alley here, so it doesn't look like it's hampering anybody's access, because this is their church. So basically, it provides them access through there, so.
Is that by where we tore down the funeral parlor?
Their
Oh, okay, that way.
parking lot is on Downey Place. And the building faces 165th, just off of Kennedy. So it's just east of Kennedy.
Correct. There's a car lot there and then.
Yeah.
We should have the room for it then.
Do I have a motion approving their request?
So moved.
Second.
Motion and second. Questions or comments? Hearing none. Those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Those against, motion passes. Correspondence received from Hammond Public Library requesting permission to post banners on Homan Avenue and Calumet Avenue.
Do they say where specifically, how specifically, and for how long?
Yeah, the light bulb.
We do have issues with businesses of any sort displaying banners for a long length of time, with feathers and those types of things. It's something that we're gonna be cracking down on. Hate to give permission to something that we're gonna tell them business they can't do it.
Last year, they put them just around the library on the ornamental lights. But this year, it looks like they want to do some on Calumet. The lights on Calumet would be sufficient to hold them. I think there's some issues with some of the ornamental lights are not really strong enough to have a banner because of the wind loads that cause vibration and break the lights. I think we could approve this subject to review with Frank Sarang from our lighting department, make sure it doesn't create an issue.
Can we send it to Don Novak also, please?
Okay. So do I have a motion to approve this subject to review by Don Novak and Frank Sarang from the, what department is that, Gary? Is it separate, like street lighting, or
Yeah, we're still public works, so.
with Public Works? Do I have such a motion?
So moved.
Second.
Motion and a second. Questions or comments? Hearing none. Those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Item GG, correspondence received from a very concerned Hammond senior resident requesting action be taken on vehicles parking on both sides of the 7400 block of Harrison, vehicles not stopping at the stop sign at 175th and Harrison, garbage in the alley, and grass not being mowed. I think we need a motion to refer this to inspections and the traffic captain for review and recommendation.
So moved.
Second.
Motion and a second. Questions or comments? Hearing none. Those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Mr. President, can we go back to EE? Does anything in the request on EE mention closing any portion or all of Kennedy Avenue?
Not on EE,
Okay.
but it does on
CC.
the live in the fest, live in the
No,
bill.
no, no, I'm,
This is,
yeah, we're not talking about CC.
see?
Yeah, they want to close Kennedy for one day for the parade.
Okay, I'm sorry, CC. Now, is that a city road or is that a state road? That's
It's
the,
a city road.
okay, so do we have the authority to close Kennedy or not?
We do, Gary has his
We're
hand
not,
up.
we don't actually close it. What they do is their motorcycles at night. Right. They have, they light them all up different colors, and they go from Freddy's Steakhouse
Yeah,
down to Kennedy.
down 65th and Grand, yeah.
come
So,
back up.
so civil defense just like temporary blocks it as they're crossing Kennedy or
Just like
something?
Little League parade.
Just like the parade, not actually blocked.
Yeah, it's actually close the traffic.
And we
Okay,
deliver.
so we did it last year, there were no issues.
Correct.
Okay.
They
Just
took
want
care
to
of it.
reduce the speed at that part of
Do we need to post no parking signs or anything in that area?
I think this is basically the same letter that they submitted last year. So what they're doing is they're asking us to reduce the speed on Kennedy because there's gonna be a lot of people milling around and walking, and they've got a cruise night, one night too, I think. And they're just concerned about people walking around. I know we were kind of concerned about that when they first proposed it, because I said, well, cruise night, you ought to do a parking lot or off Kennedy, because you don't want people walking out into Kennedy.
We just knocked on Brothers too.
I don't know if that's ready yet.
Yeah.
It might be by June.
I mean, maybe, I'm just.
That would be a nice corner if you gravelled it all and just have the cruise night there.
It'd be something to consider. I believe the city actually owns it now, so it's a question of getting permission for redevelopment as opposed to blocking the street. Just something to consider, because we picked that up on tax day.
I'm saying they would request on June 4th only that Kennedy be closed from the north side of the train tracks on Kennedy Avenue to Vine Street. For the remaining time, they would request that there be reduced speed limits.
Did you post reduced speed limit last year, Gary?
That's up to you. I mean, they're 35 now, we can take it down to 25, but they won't close any part of the street. We dropped the barricades on Friday, we pick them back up on Monday through the summer. Just the parking out in front of the businesses, they kind of do that because they kind of like party on the sidewalks and stuff, but they've never shut anything down.
They're requesting that the temporary speed limit be 10 miles an hour.
I don't even know if my car goes to that. I back up at.
Did you want us to modify the motion, Gary?
Yeah, we could probably look into it, because I went to it a few times last year, and I never saw any problems or anything.
Are you willing to work with them on coordinating it?
I can do that, I know who's putting it on, and
So do we want to,
Maybe just throw it out till we
because
own
we got
Brothers
time.
too.
First thing is until June 4th.
I think the thing is, everything's right here by the tracks.
It's just for the
Let's rescind the original recommendation.
Going to park.
Okay, we're gonna rescind the original approval, and we're gonna refer them to Gary to work on a plan, and then let him resubmit before June 4th.
We got time.
So who wants to make those complicated motions?
So moved.
Motion and a second. Questions or comments? Hearing none, those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Did we ever do a motion on the concerned citizen?
That was
We did recommend,
To review.
yeah, we're gonna refer it to Gary
Fourth district.
and traffic and code enforcement. But did we make the motion?
Yes.
Yes, we did.
Okay. Next, we move down to garage sale permits. We do let them have it
Okay.
up to 2 days,
Okay.
no more than 2. Do I have a motion approving the 3 garage sale permits?
So moved.
Second.
Motion and second, questions or comments? Hearing none, those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Those against, motion passes. Do we have any matters from other board members? Matters from other department heads or their representatives? New business? Old business? Meeting's open to the public. Is there anyone in the audience? Oh, I forgot to recognize Councilman Higgs, sorry.
Good morning.
Morning.
I received a correspondence in regards to the property on 164th and Reverend Burns Drive on February 18th that the trees will be removed. They demoed the property there and the trees are just horrendous and it's really an eyesore. And so I'm requesting that someone get over there immediately and get those trees off that corner. It's really bad.
Councilman's been informed that it'll be cut, when we get the cut and clean order from the judge, and we hire a contractor to cut the fallen tree. So I'll be handling it one time, I'm not gonna handle it as a separate issue, the tree is down on the ground, it will be cut once we get the order from the judge.
Also, there's a property on May Street that's, the trees have been sitting on the lot for over 2 years. I don't know if someone's cited the owner of the property or what, but the same tree is sitting there and I'm requesting that the tree be removed because it's also an eyesore. So that's my request as it relates to the property on the 900 block of May Street. Also, I submitted the letter to your office. Also, 838 Carroll Street, I've been trying to get that property demoed. I personally paid someone to clean the property up twice. They're still dumping debris and old TVs on the property. Please extradite this as quickly as possible.
This property is part of the VP program.
Correct.
It has to be done by June first if we don't get the money.
Correct, and actually, we just submitted claims on that were approved from that program, so I think that it's moving into that next stage of demolition very quickly.
Okay. And last but not least, I had submitted a letter, and I don't know if you all approved it for the closure of Tapper between Lions and Highland for the 12th annual 3-on-3 basketball tournament. It's going to be held June 25th.
That was
Did you
last
see
week,
that?
wasn't it? Yeah, we approved that last
We
week.
can double check, but I think that's actually a good check.
All right, thank you.
Okay, thank you, Councilman Higgs. Anyone else in the audience? If not, do I have a motion to adjourn the meeting?
So moved.
Motion and a second, questions or comments? Hearing none, those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Meeting adjourned.